I've never filmed myself writing a song. I can't write songs in front of people, but maybe I can write them in front of a camera, so we'll find out. This is my sourdough starter. And what does this have to do with writing a song? Well, I'm getting to it, but first I have to talk for like 3 minutes about how I killed my sourdough starter on multiple occasions, and now it's alive anyway because I resurrected it from the discard in my fridge after I killed it the most recent time. But I forgot to say the most important part, which is that I'm baking bread today. The other thing I'm going to be doing is writing a song because I'm taking Brian Eno's School of Song class right now. If you don't know about School of Song and you're a songwriter or want to be, you should totally check them out. They're amazing. But basically how it works is we get a prompt every week to write a song to, and the songs are due on Saturdays. It's Saturday. I haven't started my song yet. Big surprise. Not a surprise at all. So I'm writing a song and making bread, and that's my day, and I'm filming it. First step, measure out 700 grams of warm water. Then I add my sourdough starter. I'm gonna add 250 grams or approximately. It doesn't really matter if it's exact or not. This is bread flour, and then this is whole wheat flour. So I'm gonna do 100 grams of whole wheat flour and 900 grams of bread flour. This is enough to make 2 loaves of bread. Here's some of the fantastic footage I got of me adding flour to my starter and water mixture. Now I'm just gonna mix this in. Mix it in with your hands until it's fully integrated and your hands look like this. I'm gonna leave this for 40 minutes. I set a timer, and I'm gonna go start on the song. So I haven't even read the prompt yet. I'm just gonna read it right now. A song of revolution, reclaim your attention. This is ironic that I'm making content. Sorry, Brian. Do the most thorough digital detox that you are capable of. No phone except for absolute necessities and emergencies. This is not going to work for this prompt. Well, technically, when I'm filming with my phone, I'm not on it. And obviously I decided to do it anyway because you've been watching this video and I posted it. So then I did a free write on the prompt, what future do you want for this world? I mostly wrote about climate change and how I don't want it. Also, I've been rewatching Lord of the Rings, so I wrote down a Treebeard quote, which is, I am on nobody's side because nobody's on my side. Then our instructions were to just sing the first melody that comes to mind without an instrument. And then I took some lines from the free write and tried to fit them into the melody, and by the time my 40 minutes was up, I had this. But it was time to get back to my bread and prepare it for its bulk fermentation. For that, I needed 50 more grams of water and 20 grams of salt. Scatter the salt on top of the dough, then cover it with the water, then we're just gonna drive that salt into the dough. Which makes a crazy sound, but it's the best way to get it fully incorporated. And then we stretch. Since sourdough is too wet and too delicate to knead, this is how we're gonna build the gluten. Then I could leave it for another 30 minutes and get back to the song. Although there was dough all over my hands, which is not great for playing guitar. First I had to figure out what key I was in and work out a chord progression around the melody. Turns out I was in C, which made things pretty easy. Okay, maybe not that easy, but that's my own fault because I'm bad at music theory. But once I figured it out, I started working on another verse because the verse I already had felt more like a second verse to me. I'm gonna keep talking over this part because this is probably the most embarrassing thing I've ever shared on the internet, but this is basically how I write a song. If I get stuck on a lyric, I just play it over and over again with different variations until I find something that's okay. And this is why I can't write songs in front of other people. It's just too embarrassing to have another person be able to hear every bad lyric you come up with before you come up with a good one, because the whole creative process in songwriting is out loud. Anyway, I was pretty ready for a break when the next bread timer went off. You can already see how much the texture has changed. It's less gloopy and more stretchy. And that's pretty much what I did for 3 hours. I went back and forth between writing my song and stretching the dough. I came up with verse first, and it was fine. And then I came up with a chorus, and I really like the chorus. So I'm actually gonna redo the verses now, I think. Although I ended up retooling some of the lyrics I had already written into the new verse melody. Finally, it was time to split my dough into 2 loaves and then start to shape them. It's really important to build the surface tension up here because that's actually what enables sourdough to rise. The water in the dough becomes steam and expands it because the surface tension keeps it contained inside the bread. You let it relax for like 20 minutes and then you fold it into these little packets. Then the final rise is 3 hours at room temperature, which actually gave me enough time to finish the song. All I had left at this point was the bridge and just some fine-tuning of lyrics and structure. So here's the final song and the last steps of baking bread. I wanna breathe clean air, wanna see the sky turn blue again. The board of directors doesn't care, they're paying for the world to end with oil and war and the mass destruction of the poor. Come flood and fire and the fall of their own empire. each other die 2 degrees away from all right. I never wanted to work for a living for someone else. A couple dozen years upon the earth, I wish I could be living for myself in the soil and the sand, making art and living off the land. We took it all to build a tower so high it had to fall. No one's on her side, we're burning her life. Sit back and watch each other die 2 degrees away from all right. There is no God, we were created by the earth. There is no God, we were created by the earth. There is no God, we were created by the earth. There is no God.